Alright, hey guys, how's it going? Alright, today's video is going to be showing you something real basic. Just going to be showing you guys how to go into your desktop computer and remove the power supply. And then I'll also just kind of be doing like an overview of all the different connectors on there and kind of their purpose for the computer. So let's go ahead and get started. Just a few things before you start working inside any computer case. Make sure you're always grounded. I know a lot of guys do it, just go right in and don't even care to ground themselves, but generally if you're working on someone else's computer, it's a good idea to go ahead and get yourself grounded. So I've gone ahead, attached my anti-static wristband, and actually got it grounded to the back of the case, on the metal case here, and making sure I'm sitting down, even though I'm on carpet, making sure I'm sitting down, I'm not rubbing my feet, causing any kind of static or anything. But alright, so to get started, just go ahead and take the side panel off. On this Dell right here, there's just a little latch. You can kind of pull that. Alright, go ahead and get that panel out of the way. And the only thing that's actually holding this power supply, this guy right here, this is your main PSU power supply unit. The only thing that's holding this guy in to the chassis is actually, get a light here, just 4 little screws, just one right there, and one on each side over here. That's actually all that's holding it to this chassis. And you'll need to go ahead and start disconnecting all the connectors on the inside. So we got our 24-pin connector there. I've actually already disconnected that. We got a couple Molex connectors disconnected, floppy drive connector, and 2 SATA ports up here, or 2 SATA power connectors. I've actually already disconnected those as well, or going to be disconnecting these in just a few minutes. And this guy right here, it's another SATA, or a couple SATA connectors that go to the hard drive down here. Went ahead and removed the hard drive, and I'll be replacing that soon. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to cut it right here and go ahead and remove the connectors, get this guy out, take the screws off, and when I come back, I'll have the unit out, and then I'll go into further detail of each of these connectors and what their purpose is. Okay? Alright, I went ahead and got the unit out. All I had to do is take the connectors loose, remove the 4 screws, and then Dell had designed this little latch here, just a little extra thing to hold that power supply in place. And you're not going to see that on any other normal case. It's just something that Dell has done in their case here. But I went ahead and got the unit out. This is the guy right here. This is about a 300 watt power unit. Nothing big, but the system right here doesn't really need a whole lot for what it does. But I'm just going to go over these connectors briefly. This guy right here, 24-pin connector. This is your main board power connector. This is what supplies most of the power to the system. You can see that guy right there. It plugs into this 24-pin connector, plugs in here, distributes the power to the rest of the system on the board. And this guy right here actually puts out a couple different voltages. You see these yellows right here, or these orange cables right here. That's putting about 3.3 volts. The reds are putting out 5 volts. And the whites or yellows are putting out about 12 volts. And all the blacks are commons or grounds. Let's see here, we got this little floppy connector. Not going to be seeing much of these guys around anymore, but the system actually does still have a floppy drive in it. Thankfully the customer doesn't use it anymore, but this guy actually puts out, kind of like the rest of these connectors, this guy puts out 5 volts on the red and 12 volts on the yellow. Again, black is just common. And those are mainly just used for older floppy drives. And this guy right here, Molex connector. These are kind of slowly going away. Don't see them on power supplies too much anymore. But this guy right here is supplying 12 volts on the white and 5 volts on the red. Again, common is black. And these 4-pin Molex connectors, they're mainly used for older style CD-ROM drives and hard drives, also sometimes used for system fans. You can plug those in and put some extra fans in your case. This guy right here is what's kind of slowly replacing that Molex connector for CD-ROM drives and hard drives. Little power connector here. This guy actually applies a couple different voltages. The orange right there is supplying 3.3, red 5, and again the yellow is supplying the 12 volts, and the common right there, the blacks. And again, those are pretty much just used for hard drives and CD-ROM drives. This guy right here is actually pretty important. This little 4-pin connector here. This is a P4 connector. And what this guy does is he supplies extra power for the PCI slots. So if you add a video card or any kind of expansion card, this supplies some extra power for those guys. And the yellows, each of these yellows are supplying about 12 volts. And again, blacks are common. And if you look down here, just right there, you can see a couple of resistors. And right above those resistors, you can see the 4-pin connector, and that's where that guy plugs in and supplies some extra power to this guy right here. But that's pretty much it. Basic overview of the power supply on a PC. And what I'm going to be doing for this guy, I'm just going to be kind of cleaning up his system for him. So I'm not going to take this unit apart. I'm not really certified to be working on the innards of this power supply. But what I will do is just take some canned air, clean it out, and put it back in for him. I'll also be going through the rest of the system, kind of cleaning it up for him, and adding a new hard drive, and just a general update of this system. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut the video right here, and then when I come back, I will have the power supply put back in, just to kind of show what that looks like. Alrighty guys, I went ahead and got the power supply cleaned up, got it put back in, put the connectors where they need to go, and I'm going to go through and do a little bit of cable management, but that pretty much does it. And I hope it helped somebody out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.